Right, Shalom Israel, welcome back to Wednesday night class. Good to see everybody in person and good to see everybody online. Hope everybody's doing well and their families are doing well. We just came off of the intro of the month of Tishri, the 7th month, which holds a lot of high holy days within the 7th month. The first being the memorial blowing of the trumpets, which we just celebrated the other day. And we had a great time, great opportunity to come together and try to heal. The whole objective, we didn't have class on Monday, but we'll be back again next Monday. But the whole objective of the memorial blowing of the trumpets was to return to get on one accord with each other, to work out any issues, kinks, reunite, and have each other's back and let each other know that we're not enemies or strangers to one another. So it was a great time for the memorial blowing of the trumpets. Day of Atonement is coming up in we got about 7 more days. It's on the 10th day of the 7th month is Day of Atonement. That's coming up, and that's one of the most significant high holy days also. And I'm sure we'll have a class on that, or if not, we have it online already. But let's go ahead and get started because we want to try to get a lot in tonight. First and foremost, shout out to Cabo Cab in Guatemala and his congregation in California, Atlanta, and all across the globe. Shout out and shalom to Stream of Wisdom in Houston, Rochester, and Norfolk, Virginia. And I know those brothers are doing well and fighting as always. And we ask the Most High to keep them strengthened as well in their work. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. First scripture we're going to go to is Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 7, verse 20. Let's get Ecclesiastes in the Bible, 7 and 20.
Come. Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 7 and verse 20 read.
Moselle, give me that water that's in that bag. That was in that bag that you took out.
What's the name of
the class? The class is called Fall into the Hands of the Lord.
Ready?
Yeah, let me get this water real quick. Yeah, the water. Thank you. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 20 reads, "For there is not a just man upon earth."
What does the Bible say?
For there is not a just man upon earth.
Is anybody righteous on earth?
No. No.
Nobody's righteous on earth. So as we approach the Day of Atonement, we should have a lot to want to atone for, because there's nobody that's righteous on the earth. He said there's no just man upon the earth. Read on.
That doeth good.
It said that do what?
Doeth good.
So is there something that each and every one of us have to work on?
Come.
Very much so. Read on.
And sinneth not.
Everybody's a sinner, ultimately. So that's what it comes down to. And that's why, because everybody's a sinner, this class can pertain to anybody. All right? So let's go ahead and go to the next verse. 2 Samuel chapter 24. And give me verse 12.
2 Samuel 24, verse 12.
Let's start at verse 10 so we get some context.
2 Samuel 24, verse 10. And David's heart smote him.
It said David's heart did what?
Smote him.
So David was afflicted. He was afflicted and conflicted in mind, and full of sorrow and pain. He says, and David's heart smote him. He was dealing with a lot of regret. Read on.
It says, after that, he had numbered the people.
Because he was told not to number the people and do a census, but he did it anyway. We know that in other verses, Satan crept into David's heart to do so. Read on.
And David said unto the Most High, I have sinned greatly.
But one thing that David was able to do, even after every mistake, what was he able to do?
His faults.
He was able to confess his faults.
Take accountability.
A lot of us, we just made the first scripture, let it be known that all of us are sinners.
Come.
So that means that all of us should be able to take a page out of David's book and know how to confess after the sin, after we make mistakes. A lot of us can't do that, but we should understand how valuable this is. He says, for I have sinned greatly. Read on.
I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Yahweh, take away thine iniquity of thy servant.
So he's asking the Most High to remove his iniquity, remove the sin from me. Read on.
For I have done very foolishly.
He said, what I was doing, I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was doing. I've done very foolishly. Read on.
For when David was up in the morning, the word of the Most High came unto the prophet Gad,
Go ahead.
David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Most High, I offer thee 3 things.
He says, I'm going to give you 3 things. But what are these things? Read on. These are repercussions to sin. These are responses and the fallout that happens once we make mistakes. He said, I'm going to give you 3 options. Read on.
Choose thee one of them.
He said, I'm going to let you choose, but no sin is without repercussion. Sin has a wage and a price. So everything has a price. So he says, you're going to pay something. There's something that has to happen because of your mistakes.
So even after you've said the apologies and you're sincere and you've confessed your faults, you still got to pay for your actions.
You still got to pay for the mistake.
Yeah.
Sin has a cost. And the cost sometimes is expensive. Read on.
That I may do it unto thee.
He says, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You can, that's mercy for the Most High to even give him these options.
Okay.
For the Most High to even open the door for him to choose his own situation, his own punishment is mercy from the Father. Read on.
So Gad came to David and told him, and said unto him, Shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in the land?
It said, you want 7 years of famine? So do you want to watch the children, the women, the animals, all the livestock and the cattle? Do you want to watch everybody grow thin and grow slim and suffer for 7 years? 7 years with little rainfall and no crops, that's a long time. Those are FEMA type situations. Those are desperate situations. So he said 7 years famine. That's a lot to bear. That's a long time to bear famine. Read on.
Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies?
He says, or I'm gonna bring some enemies upon you, some of these other nations, and they're gonna chase you. And what they do to you is what they do to you. And if they find your women, and if they find your children, they're gonna have at them, and they're gonna be vulnerable, and they're gonna take advantage of whoever they find. And that's gonna happen for 3 months. But we know how that looks. Rape, rob, and pillage. Read on.
While they pursue thee,
Go ahead.
or that there be 3 days pestilence.
He says, or I'm gonna just give you 3 days of pestilence. That means a plague is gonna have to go through the land. Read on.
In thy land. Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me.
Go ahead.
And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait.
He said, man, do I really want to watch people suffer for 7 years straight? Do I really want to be ran out of our home country for 3 months? Read on.
God, he said, let us fall now into the hand of the Most High.
And that's the title of this class. Because everybody's a sinner. But what should everybody's options be?
Let us fall now into the hand of the Most High.
What should everybody want to do after they make a mistake?
Let us fall now into the hand of the Most High.
That's the best place to be, even when you make a mistake. Even when you lived a bad life, a no good life. The best option is that the Most High, let the Most High decide for you what the repercussions should be. Fall into that means I yield myself to whatever the Most High wants to do to me. That's the best option. Read on.
And it says, for his mercies are great.
Because one thing David understands is that if he's in the hand of his enemies may not have no mercy. He said, but at least I know that if I take this spanking, this divine punishment, at least I know it's going to hurt, but in the end, the Most High will be what?
Merciful.
The Most High will be merciful. Read on.
And let me not fall into the hand of man.
He said, because man, you ain't no telling what man going to do.
Yeah.
Man sometimes is cold-natured. And they'll completely demoralize you, demolish you, crush you when they have opportunity. He said, but at least the Most High is merciful. So I'm going to choose the Most High's mercy. Now, we're not going to read the rest of it, but read the rest of it on your own. Put a little note on the side. Read a little note, make a note, read it on your own so you understand that David still had to pay for his mistakes. But just like we all have to pay for our mistakes. But the objective is to know where to go. We got to know where home is at. After every mistake we make, the good thing to do is to fall in the hands of the Most High. Let the Most High pick my punishment, my consequence. So we understand that? That's the motivation and the purpose behind this class. But also, this is a learned behavior. This is what the Most High have been trying to learn. David is the gold standard of having the right mind frame, the right disposition towards the Lord. But the Most High had been trying to teach us this mind frame since the beginning of pulling us out of Egypt. And we're going to prove that. Go to Numbers chapter 21, verse 1.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 1. And when King Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. And Israel bowed a vow unto the Lord and said,
And they said what?
And said, if thou wilt indeed deliver this people
They said, if thou indeed would deliver this people. Read.
into my hands,
So, and this is Joshua. Read on.
then I will utterly destroy their cities.
Go ahead.
And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities.
They said, we're not going to save no victuals, no spoils, no rewards of battle. Read on.
And he called the name of the place Hormah.
Now that name of that place where Israel made a vow, and they said, Lord, if you deliver our enemies into our hands, we'll destroy everything and not save anything. And we'll do it in thought and consciousness of you, and take no reward out of it. And he said the Most High named that place Hormah. That word Hormah means dedicate or devotion. It really means devotion. So what the Most High, the Lord called the name of that place devotion. Why did the Most High call the name of that place devotion? Because they stuck to their word. They did exactly what they said they were going to do. They stuck to their word. And that's why the Most High named that place devotion. Read on.
Verse 4. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea.
And just for good clarity, the word devotion means the state of being dedicated, or it means performance of religious duties. That means I stay in a dedicated mind frame, and I perform always my religious duties. And so Israel kept their word. The Most High named it devotion. So now they're leaving that area, which is a high mountain. Read on.
To compass the land of Edom.
Go ahead.
And the soul of the people was much discouraged.
So now, in just a short amount of time, our people go from devoted, dedicated, to what? Discouraged.
Yeah.
How do you go from devoted and dedicated to religious duties to discouraged? How does that happen?
Put off the gas.
How?
Put a break.
How and why and so soon? You just left a mountain. The Most High gave you a victory. You're fresh off a victory.
That's true.
You're fresh off a win. You just watched the Most High come through for you. How do you go from devoted and dedicated in performing your religious duties to being discouraged? That quick? Read on. What is it? You got to ask yourself, what is it? Read on.
And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way.
Now it says because of the way just means the direction that they were going. Now when you read they're in the land of Edom, and they're in Mount Hor, which is the ancient land of the Horites, or the Horims, which are very high jagged cliffs that have a lot of caves. And actually one of the name means cave dweller. So it's a high mountainous, rigid cliff system, peak system that has a lot of steep drop-offs, and there's a lot of challenges. And he said they were much discouraged because of the way. So what happens when we're fresh off a victory and we're up against a challenge? Any little challenge. We lose all consciousness of victory. We lose all connection with devotion. We lose all remembrance of the Most High coming through. Just because of a little direction. He said they were much discouraged because of the way, because they had some steep, high cliffs. But that's, when you read about the land of Edom, especially in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, it'll explain that these are very hard mountain ranges to navigate through. But if the Most High just gave you a victory in war, why should that even matter? Why should the direction that the Most High has taken you through change your mind frame from devoted and dedicated to discouraged? Read on.
Verse 5. And the people spake against the Most High.
So he said, then what happens when people get discouraged?
They're complaining.
Talking negative.
Speak against the Most High.
Hey, whose fault is it?
It's God and the messenger's fault.
Yep. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 19. First Timothy chapter 5, verse 19. Just a little bit of discouragement. A little bit of a challenge in the direction. And already there's something wrong.
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Against an elder, receive not an accusation.
It says, what is an accusation? What is an accusation? Whoever got the definition. What's an accusation?
Accusation, 1828. It says, the act of charging with a crime
It
or
says
offense.
the act of charging with the crime or what?
Or offense.
So now go back, hold that, and go back to where we was at in Numbers, and read verse 5.
Verse 5, chapter 21. And the people spake against the Most High and against Moses.
And they spoke against the Most High and against Moses. Both of them. They said, I'm offended at you for you telling us to go this way. I'm offended at the conditions. I'm offended at the up and coming challenges. I'm offended at this mountain range. I'm offended that you pointed us in this direction. He says, but in Timothy it says what?
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 19. Against an elder, receive not an accusation.
But the Bible says when it comes to elders, don't just receive or believe every accusation. Read.
But before 2 or 3 witnesses.
What does that mean? That means if I'm going to charge somebody with a fault or offense, that means I got to bring a second or third pair of eyes to be involved. For what reason?
Witness.
Not just a witness, but for what reason? Why do I bring a witness in? Why do I bring 2 or 3 witnesses?
To see if the perspective is valid.
Right. I gotta double check my perspective. That means I do this because I have the capability to possibly be seeing a situation the wrong way. That's why you bring witnesses in, to validate and verify, are you looking at things the right way? Am I looking at people the right way? Am I looking at the person the right way? That's why I shouldn't even conjure up an accusation, which means what, Kariah?
Accusation, the act of charging with a crime or offense. The act of accusing of any wrong or injustice.
So before I even formulate this idea, or if this idea is formulated, let me verify and let me get a second pair of eyes on this. I could be looking at this whole situation wrong. I could be looking at this person completely wrong. And that's what should be done. But do we do this? No. Nah. We see people, we see situations, we see circumstances, we see challenges, and we see faults, and we see blame. And it has to be disposed and put and placed on somebody else. I have to look for the fall guy to say, you're the reason why I'm going through what I'm going through. Not checking to make sure that my thoughts are right. That means that what he's saying is that the reason why the Most High had established 2 or 3 witnesses is because it's easy to be wrong in your opinion. It's easy to be wrong in your outlook. So now let that go, and let's go back to Numbers chapter 21, verse 5.
Numbers 21:5. The people spake against the Most High and against Moses.
Stop right there. Let's go to Deuteronomy, next brother, chapter 29, verse 2.
Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 2. Deuteronomy 29 and 2. And Moses called unto all Israel.
So Moses called the children of Israel together. Read on.
And said unto them.
And said unto them, go ahead.
Ye have seen all that the Most High did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh.
Why is Moses reminding the children of Israel of what the Most High did to Pharaoh and coming out of Egypt? Yes, sir.
Forgetful hearers.
We're forgetful hearers. I mean, that means that we can see good, we can have good, be recipients of God's goodness, and still forget the good that God does. Read on.
And unto all his servants, and unto all his land.
It says, you've seen what the Most High did to Pharaoh. You've seen what he did to the Egyptian army. You see what he did to his servants. You see what he did to the land with all the plagues. You were witnesses to all the things that the Most High did to the Egyptians. Read on.
The great temptations which thine eyes have seen.
You saw the 3 days of darkness. Well, you didn't see it, but they did. You saw the death of the firstborn. You saw the rivers turn to blood. You saw the lice. You saw the frogs come up even in the ovens, in the kitchens of the Egyptians, upon their beds. You saw the boils on the skin. You saw all these things happen to these people. Read on.
The signs and those great miracles.
It said, and you've seen signs and you've seen great miracles. Read on.
Yet the Most High have not given you an heart to perceive.
It says, but the problem is, the Most High knows that even though he did all these things in front of your face, we still have trouble with what?
To perceive.
What does that mean?
To understand.
No, perception means to understand, but also how you see things.
Is it clear or not?
Yeah, do we see things the right way? Even with miracles performed in front of us, the Most High knows, and Moses understood, you're still missing something. We're still missing something. We don't have the ability to perceive. Read on.
And eyes to see.
It's an air you don't see, meaning we have eyes, but he's not talking about those type of eyes. He's talking about a set of spiritual eyes. Can I see beyond just the physical eyes that I have? Can I see beyond the condition that I'm in? Can I see beyond the direction the Most High has me going through? Can I see beyond the discomfort? We have eyes, but we don't really see. We don't know what the Most High is doing. Read on.
Yet the Most High had not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, unto this day.
He said, unto this day, all that you've seen and witnessed, that's a testimony right in front of your face, you still have a negative mind. That's the problem. Even with all the good that's around us, we still got something negative to say. We still see flaw. We still see flaw in the Most High. We still see flaw in the Most High's leadership. We still have issue. Even though amidst of all the good that we see, there's still something wrong. There's something I have a fault with, I'm offended by, or I have a charge against, or I don't like. It's still a scenario that I'm not very fond of. I'm not feeling the situation I'm in.
Can I ask this question?
Huh?
And this is the mind of the people.
Huh?
Because the class was, not the class, but the angle of the conversation in Scripture was going on to how the people reacted to the land of Edom. So this is how the people reacted. This is how everyday people react today.
Yeah.
It's not say we can't say that was 1,000 years ago. We're so much better now because we have phones. People mentally do the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm. Every day, because we got to find out why. Why is it that regardless of what the good the Most High will do for us right in front of us, so we can see it with our very eyes, we still don't understand and see the good of what he's doing. He has to reiterate this point. Read on.
And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness.
Go ahead.
Your clothes are not waxing old upon you.
Who still got clothes from 40 years ago?
Today?
I'm talking about today. Whose clothes are still in good condition from 40 years ago?
Nobody. Maybe 10.
Maybe 20, 30.
I ain't seen no 40
That's not moth-eaten. That's not shrunken. That's not that got the hanger formations permanently on the clothes. Now, even when you put the shirt on, you still got the pointy shoulders.
Yeah.
Or it's faded. So, but the Most High said, listen, as a reminder, as a witness, so you can sit back and maybe reestablish your perspective. Look at the clothes you got on. Those clothes you've been wearing for 40 years, they never got old. They never got torn. They never got ragged to where they fell off of your body. And they never became so stretched out or skinny where they couldn't fit.
Which is a miracle in itself. It's saying, by technicality, am I correct, that people don't even see the miracles the Most High does for them.
That's exactly what he's saying. That is correct. That's exactly what he's. That's why he has to reiterate this point. Let's take a look at your clothes. They're still on your body and they're still in good condition. Read on.
He's been with us for many years.
40.
40.
Yeah. You wear the same clothes for 40 years. They just eventually the dirt, the grime, the wear and tear, they just gonna fall off your body and become rags.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There was this medieval king and his queen. They had worn their clothes for about 5 years straight, and it actually started to freeze into their skin.
My God.
And they tried to remove them when it was deceased. It took the skin off, but the skin and the fabric started eating to the skin. It got infected.
Like when you have your bike chain and tied to a tree, and the tree grow into the bike, and the bike become part of the tree. Yeah. But the Most High said you've been wearing these clothes for 40 years, and they are still wearable clothes. They still ain't fell off. Man, we got underwear that don't last that long.
Yeah.
I said, read on.
And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxing old upon you.
It said your clothes didn't even age. You didn't pay attention to that? I've been holding you down and your wardrobe down all this time. Read on.
And thy shoe is not waxing old upon thy foot.
Now we know when you walking in the wilderness, you know what happened to shoes when you wear shoes too long. Anybody that wears shoes too long, they'll have some flapping going on from the rear or the front, and the seams will bust out, and the bottom soles will wear off, or you got that lean to the side where the shoe is unevenly worn, and you got that edge is worn out because you're pigeon-toed, or you're slew-footed, and the inside's wore out. So everybody should know what that look like grass cutters.
Yeah.
But he showed the Most High said, listen, you never had to buy shoes. What is he saying by saying these things?
He looked out for us the whole time. He was there. His presence was there the entire time.
I've been with you the whole time, but you still can't see no good. That's amazing. Read.
Ye have not eaten bread.
It said what?
Ye have not eaten bread.
It said ye have not eaten bread. Now, how important is bread? Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 29, verse 21.
Yeah. 29 and 21, correct?
Mm-hmm. The Most High told Israel, he said, you have not eaten bread. Ecclesiastes chapter 29, verse 21.
Ecclesiastes chapter 29 and verse 21 reads, The chief thing for life
It
is
says,
water.
it says the chief thing means the essentials, meaning these things you have to have in order to live a long time, at least a decent time. You got to have water. What else?
It says, and bread.
So is bread up there with one of the main essentials necessary for living?
Con.
So is not bread important?
Yes, it is.
It's essential. And what else?
It says, and clothing.
Is clothing up there
Con.
as essential? So when the Most High is telling Israel that your clothes have not worn out, your shoes have not worn out, and I didn't even give you bread, meaning all these things are essentials. Meaning, who's been taking care of the chief things?
Most High.
Who's been taking care of the things that you need the most?
Most High.
The Most High has. So when he's telling Israel, ye have not eaten bread, meaning it's not like the bread is not important. It is one of the most important things to have in life to sustain life. So let that go in Ecclesiastes and go back to that Numbers 21.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 5. The people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread.
We said, for there's no what?
There is no bread.
He said, there's no what?
There is no bread.
There's no, and this, so is it really the fact that there was no bread? Because when we read in Deuteronomy chapter 29, whoever had that in Deuteronomy 29. And read,
Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 5.
yeah, verse 6.
And verse 6. Ye have not eaten bread.
So, is it the fact that it was no bread? Because that's what they're saying. You didn't give us bread. But the Most High said, listen, I gave you something better than bread. I gave you manna for bread. I gave you angels' food for bread. I gave you something that when you read about manna, manna had the ability to form and contour itself unto the eater's taste buds. So whatever you thought about that you were eating, it can convert into that what you thought you were eating. It could contour to the flavor that you wanted. But they're saying we didn't have no bread. The Most High said, I didn't give you bread anyway. I gave you something better than bread. But what are they still complaining about? He said in Numbers chapter 21, he says, what, Ahmad?
For there is no bread.
Is it the fact that there's no bread? Is there no bread? Go to, is that somebody?
No, it's a box.
Okay, no problem. Then give me Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. Is it the fact that there's no bread, or the Most High gave us something better than bread? It was manna available. But what they're saying, when Israel is saying, is that there is no bread. That complaint has a deeper meaning to it. What is it? Ecclesiastes chapter 16, verse 3. Exodus chapter 16, verse 3.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to the Most High we had died by the hand of the Most High in the land of Egypt.
He said, they told Moses and Aaron, you should have left us and let us die in Egypt. Read on.
When we sat by the flesh pots.
Because at least in Egypt, we had plenty of food cooking on the flesh pots. We had stewed, cooked, boiled, and braised meats in the flesh pots. We had full pots of food. Read on.
When we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full.
Stop. Is it that they didn't have bread? Or they just didn't have bread to the what?
To the full.
So what is it then?
You have what you need, but you don't have it the way you want it necessarily.
Say that one more time.
We have what we need. We have bread. We have the essentials. But we don't have it the way we want it. We want the excess. Because to the full means excess.
Yeah.
I don't have it to the full till I deem I'm satisfied. Till I say, yes, I'm satisfied. I'm content with the amount of bread I have.
That means the portions have to be in such abundance
Yeah.
that I feel like I'm sufficient and I'm maxed out
Yeah.
and I can't eat no more.
I'm maxed. Or you know what? I can refuse and say, listen, I'm gonna let this spoil, man, because I've had enough.
Or save that for tomorrow.
Save it for tomorrow.
Put that in the to-go box.
That's a big part too. What I have tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, I was going to bring out that on your point that there's a restaurant called Texas Day Brazil, and like they, I have to bring this out, but they bring you the meat, and then they keep cutting the meat until you say stop.
Right?
So they give you however much access of meat.
That's what you
that
pay for.
desire.
That's what you pay for.
It's a
Right.
pleasure thing.
Right. You eat until you can't eat anymore. And a lot of people just eat slow so they can stay in there for a while. But the Most High, but listen to the children of Israel. They said, we don't got no bread. Read what you had on mine?
God, Numbers 21:5. The people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up unto Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread.
Is it the fact that there's no bread? Or is it not what they were used to? He said, when we were in Egypt, we had bread to the full. That means the Most High will take you through a scenario where now your lifestyle isn't as comfortable as where you come from. You don't have the comforts that you used to have. You may not have the accessibility to the quantity of things that you used to have.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, this is not living because this is not what I'm used to.
Yep.
I cannot be happy because this is not where I come from. I don't come from eating like this. That's not where I come from. So the Most High will put us all in situations where we'll be questioning whether what we're doing is right because it's not what we're used to. And it's not where we come from. And it's not what we're accustomed to. And when things aren't what they used to be, and what we're not accustomed to, guess what we start to do? Complain. We start to complain when we say, I don't eat like that. I can't eat this. You expect me to survive off beans and rice and lentils? You expect, that ain't what I'm used to. I grew up eating the full spread. I grew up having choices.
I grew up having choices.
Having a full course meal with a dessert being in the oven.
The choices I want.
Yeah. To my satisfaction.
Yeah.
But this is what the Most High does to Israel because he's trying to show them something. Read that verse again, verse 5.
From the top?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God, and the people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness?
Go ahead.
For there is no bread.
That's a lie. There was bread. There was angels' food, which is manna. But the problem is, read on.
Neither is there any water.
Go ahead.
And our soul loatheth this light bread.
The problem with the bread was they called the manna what?
Light.
Light.
Why did they call the manna light?
It wasn't what they were used to.
That was light bread.
They used to eat until their stomach stretched to the full. It used to be in blood.
And it would be no good by the end of the next day.
Say it again.
It would be no good. It's only good for the night. And in the morning,
Why would the Most High only put an expiration date of 24 hours on that manna?
So we don't stock up
to
on it.
drive that point.
So we don't stock up on it. What else? Say it again. Say it louder.
That's right. He depends on it.
So why would the Most High give us light bread? So we can stay what?
Practice dependency.
What? So why didn't the Most High give us bread to the full?
So we need to depend on him.
Exactly. That's why the Most High made sure the bread was just enough.
Get by.
Just enough for you to make it on. Because it wasn't about eating to the full or having in abundance. The whole lesson was about depending on him. That was why the portion size was a ration. Remember, he said it had to be an ephah of manna. And it was a ephah and I forgot that other dry measure. It's an instrument of dry measurement. Homer. So, and you take it per man, and it was just supposed to be broken down in equal portions. And so everybody got the same amount. Nobody got more than each other. And if I gathered extra, then I gave the extra that I gathered to the ones that gathered less. So it was also a lesson in sharing. It was multiple lessons within the manna distribution.
I don't think people like that part either. They don't say it.
No, but that's why some like to hoard the manna.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, wouldn't you even say a lesson in hoarding too? Because you can hoard all you want, and it would still be no good.
And the Most High still look at you as a person that has no faith.
Right. And there you go.
Yes, sir.
And you know it's crazy when people start hoarding things like that. They have so much in the abundance side, they'll forget what they got and it'll still go to waste at the end of the day. So it'll start molding up and stuff. The quality is not the same.
Kind. So ultimately, when you look at it, what does the Most High want from us?
We want to say our reliance to depend on Him.
To be dependent on Him. But we complain and we find fault and we find blame and we get offended when things we feel like are short and not enough. Is it really the Most High trying to kill us? Is it really trying to put us to death? Or is it our perspective we don't see because He didn't give us the heart to see things the right way? That means we still got a negative outlook. Ultimately, what the Most High wants, go to Jeremiah chapter 11. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 11. And let's read, start at verse 6.
Jeremiah chapter 11 and verse 6. Then the Most High said unto me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Judah.
He said, go talk to Judah. He told Jeremiah, go talk to Judah. Read on.
And in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant, and do them.
He said, hear the words of this covenant, and what?
And do them.
Read on.
For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt.
So when the Most High was feeding the children of Israel with light bread and manna that was just sufficient enough for the day, and they had to be dependent upon the Most High for their daily bread, He was teaching them that as long as you stay obedient, as long as you follow my commandments, everything will be okay. Everything will be just fine. So regardless of the circumstance, read on.
Even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying,
The Most High told Jeremiah, he said, listen, I was protesting to the children of Israel in the desert. I was begging them earnestly. I was urging them with fervency. Please do what?
obey my voice.
All the Most High wants from everybody, from the past, present, and the future, is to do what?
Obey my voice.
So, but the problem is, this is what He's always wanted. The Most High has always wanted us to have the ability to obey His voice. The problem is when the conditions aren't right, when the circumstances aren't right, and they're not favorable to us, and we don't like the conditions that we're in, and we don't like the direction that we're being told to go, we stop being what?
Obedient.
We stop being obedient. This is the issue that the Most High has had from the children of Israel coming out of the wilderness. They just didn't know how to follow because they're too busy looking at the circumstances. I'm too busy looking at the situation. My bread is light. I got light bread. I don't like light bread. I like having extras. I like having a little extra in my bank account. I don't like depending on the Most High on a daily basis. It's vexing. It's frustrating. It's irritating. There's too much uncertainty. I don't like the uncertainty. I don't like the fact that I got to wait on the Lord. But read on.
Verse 8.
Now verse 7 one more time.
Verse 7. For I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even unto this day,
rising early and protesting, saying, "Obey my voice."
The Most High said he was rising early and he was protesting. Can you imagine the Most High protesting? Obey my voice. Obey my voice. Obey my voice. All around the camp, obey my voice. Read on.
Verse 8. Yet they obeyed not.
And we wouldn't do it. The Most High said, I was protesting with y'all in the wilderness to obey my voice and you wouldn't. How and why don't we obey?
I desire something else is too strong.
Yes. And he's going to explain that. Read on.
Verse 8. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear.
He said they wouldn't even listen to me. They wouldn't give me a minute. They wouldn't even give me their ear for a minute and yield their thoughts for a minute, bow their ear down, and let me put some knowledge in their ear. Let me put some instruction in their ear. Let me give them something that they can depend on or be comforted with. Read on.
God. But walked everyone in the imagination of their evil heart.
He says, but instead of listening to me, not liking the circumstance, he said, because they didn't trust me, they started walking every man into the imagination of what?
Of their evil heart.
Now give me that definition in the 1828 of imagination.
Imagination.
And I want you to read the definition by that guy Stewart.
God. The one at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
God. Imagination, 1828, Webster Dictionary. Right below Stewart. We would define imagination to be the will.
It says, we would define imagination to be the what?
To be the will.
So when I don't trust the Lord, and I don't like the situation the Lord has me in, and I don't like the situation that I'm under, I don't like the fact that I got to be dependent on Him, and I got to walk by faith and not by sight. And I don't like the substance that He's bringing in, even though He knows exactly what the body needs. He said the chief things for life is water, bread, and clothing. The blood of the grape, iron and salt. The Most High knows exactly what the body, He created the body. The body's full of minerals. He knows what it needs. Grains and breads and wheats is all minerals. He knows what we need. But that's not good enough when it's not done to our satisfaction. When life isn't to our satisfaction, this is when our will and our thoughts starts to do what? Read.
Right. It says, we would define imagination to be the will, working on the materials of memory.
It says, we start thinking back to a better day. We start thinking back to a better time. We start thinking back to when we had it better. Or when we were at our best. That's why Israel kept talking about Egypt.
Yeah.
Even though the Most High took them out of Egypt. They kept referencing what? Better days.
Yep.
I don't know
It was a
why.
good time.
If we were going to die, we didn't have to come to the wilderness to die. We could have died in Egypt. We could have left in Egypt where we had fish and we had onions and we had leeks and we had flesh. We had the flesh pots cooking. We was doing some real cooking in Egypt, and we had bread to the full. Those were good days. Those were good times. So what we do as people psychologically is that when what the Most High has to give us isn't sufficient enough for us, we start trying to meditate on the past. How can I generate what I used to have? How can I get back to the days when I was at my most happiest point? Yes, sir. We start looking back. We start looking backwards. The wheels start turning. When was I at my happiest? Because this ain't living and this ain't it. And I reject and I deny and I refuse to live like this. So I got to think about when I had the most liberty, when I had the most freedom, when I had the most resources, when I had the most happiness, when I had the most choices, when I indulged in the most pleasure. I got to go back, man. He said, but the imagination will do that when it's not satisfied.
True.
Read in that definition. Just read it from the top.
God says, we would define imagination to be the will working on the materials of memory.
Go ahead.
Not satisfied with following the order prescribed by nature.
It says we do what? Read that part again.
It says not satisfied.
It says we're not. What is the imagination? The imagination is a formulation of thoughts that come from not being what?
Satisfied.
From not being satisfied. So when we're not satisfied, the man's mind starts to create. I got to create my own satisfaction. That's what imagination is. It's just the outcome of somebody's brain power and thought process who isn't satisfied at what the Most High has to give them.
This scenario.
So now the wheels start to turn. Now the light bulbs start to turn on. Because now I got to create my own happiness. I got to pursue my own happiness. Because I don't like what the Most High has to give me. And what the Most High has to give me is not good enough. So I'm about to go. I'm going to start. You about to start some activity. I'm going to start computing. Do some calculating. I got to make my scenario better. I got to get out of this situation. Or I got to go back to who I used to be. Where I was before. I got to get back to where I was at my best. I don't feel like I'm at my best. I'm starving right now. I'm hungry right now.
I don't like this set of terms.
Yeah.
I don't like these terms.
I don't like these terms or conditions. So the imagination is just the outward or the inward activity of dissatisfaction. Read that part again.
God. Not satisfied with following the order.
It says, but whose order do we stop following?
The Most High.
The Most High's order. This is the definition of imagination. This is not something we made up. This is not something that we're trying to tie into the Bible verse. When the Most High said that all I wanted them to do was just obey, and they would not. He said, for they started walking after their own evil imaginations. This definition ties exactly into what the Most High is explaining that the average man and average woman does when they don't like their scenario. All the alerts in the imagination start firing off. I got to get out of here. I got to do something different. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. This ain't for me. I got to go back home. I got to go back to my mama's house.
Go back to Kansas.
I got to go back to Kansas. I'm going back to Cali.
Yeah, going back to Cali.
I'm going back to Cali. I go.
Looking out the front door.
Nope, I don't think so. and for those that don't know, that was a hip hop song. LL Cool J, like '89.
I love that song.
Biggie remixed it.
Yeah, he did.
But the whole point is, people like to go back to the past. Oh, I'm going back to my ex. I'm going back to where I used to be and who I used to be with. Because I don't like my scenario. I don't like my current situation. So because I don't like my current situation, they say old habits die hard.
Yeah.
That means I start picking up my old habits again. Read that definition one more time. It's very important to understand this. Read.
God. Not satisfied with following the order prescribed by nature.
It says not satisfied by following the order prescribed by what?
By nature.
By nature. That means that I start to do unnatural things. Start to do unnatural things when I'm not satisfied. Right? Read on.
God. It says, or suggested by accident.
Or I do things by accident. That means I make quick, irrational decisions. I make real fast decisions without thinking. So I cause accidents because I'm not really thinking. I'm not being logical. Read on.
It selects the part of different conceptions.
It says the mind starts to pick and choose what it conceives. That means I'm no longer under the authority or obedience of the Father. I'm now under the obedience of my own conception. That means I only start to follow what I conjure up and what I come up with and what I believe. I only see the pictures that I paint. Not what the Most High has painted for me, but what I paint and what I come up with. Read.
God. It says it selects the part of different conceptions or objects of memory.
It says, or I start choosing objects of memory. Man, I wonder if my ex is single. I wonder if we can make this thing work, man. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna call. Cause I'm picking memories now. When better days, I'm picking memories of better days.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder if I'm really not content and satisfied on who I'm with and who the Most High gave me. So I wonder how she's doing.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's still available. I wonder if he's still available. I wonder what life would have been like had I stayed with him or with her. I wonder if my life would have been different.
These are a bunch of crazy, evil thoughts. These thoughts have extreme effects inside of households. Because that question can't be answered. You can't answer that question.
But it can be explored.
It can be explored. It can't be answered. But what it does is it devalues what you have in front of you.
Yeah.
So by asking these what if questions and these marveling in your mind, the marveling is a deflation of what you have in front of you. What you have in front of you is in color, but because you're marveling and you're relishing and you're accentuating a detailed narrative thought that cannot be reached or really grasped, like you have you formulate in your mind like a little hologram that you're creating this hologram in your mind, but your reality doesn't match your hologram. That fantasy can't be actualized in the real life. So what it does, it takes all the flavor out of your food, all the flavor out of your marriage, all the flavor out of your blessings. You're actually draining all the vibration and the vibrancy of what the Father's giving you.
You're disregarding the good that's around you.
Calm. Can't enjoy it no more. Because this doesn't match the hologram / dream / fantasy that I've accentuated in my personal time while I'm driving to work.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's too late for me to go back to school.
Yeah. Yes, commercials are talking.
Yeah,
Your phones are talking crazy too.
Yeah.
Your algorithms are saying,
Yeah.
Do you need this too?
Student loans available right there. I wonder if it's too late for me to go back to school.
Come.
I wonder if I can do 15 push-ups to get back in the military. I always want to go to the military.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get 10 pull-ups and 15 push-ups. If I can run 2 miles in about 18 minutes. I wonder if it's too late.
No, it's too late.
Let me call the recruiter real quick.
I made a mistake.
Let me see. Let me try this walk, man. I always wanted. Let me check the boxes out. You know what? The mind is a wonderful engine, especially when it's unsatisfied. It starts to navigate. It starts to create. It starts to design. It starts to craft ideas, thoughts, memories. It starts relishing on things that have been way gone. Starts to look back. It starts to put you in the past, not the present.
Yep.
It forces you to not appreciate what you got in front of you. What does that imagination starts to do, Karan?
It says right here. It says it selects the part of different conceptions.
It says I start to choose different conceptions. I don't like what the Most High got for me, so I got to figure my own. I got to figure my own pleasure out. I got to find my own joy. Most High ain't giving me what I feel like I need. He's not sufficient enough for me. Read on.
It says, or objects of memory.
Or I go back in the past. Read on.
To form a whole more pleasing.
I said, so the imagination, when it's not satisfied from what the Most High has to give you, your natural mind, psychologically, starts to do what, Kariah?
To form a whole more pleasing.
It says a whole, meaning a complete. More pleasing what?
It says more terrible or more awful than has ever been presented
in the ordinary course of nature.
So now the mind gets extravagant.
Yeah.
And I got to find something. I got to go out of my way now, out of the course of what's natural, to find my pleasure. That means I got to go above and beyond. And I got to take some risks in order to establish my pleasure. Because I don't like what the Most High, and I'm not happy with what the Most High gives me.
I like the terms and conditions.
So I'm in create mode.
Yep.
I'm in create mode. And what does man do? So man will get in this mind. This is what the Most High is explaining in Jeremiah. Read that again in verse 8.
God. Jeremiah chapter 11 and verse 8. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked everyone in the imagination of their evil heart.
It says, so their imagination starts to turn. And we already know, we just explained what that means and how that looks and what that looks like. Dwelling on the past, trying to seek better options, going off my own narrative, creating my own and navigating my own joy and happiness, going above and beyond that which is natural. I'm going to make my way work somehow, some way. Read on.
God. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked everyone in the imagination of their evil heart.
It says, so they walk everyone in the imagination of their evil heart. Read.
God. Therefore, I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did them not.
It said, but they what?
They did them not.
So read Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
Bible.
Ecclesiastes.
That's in the part. Yes, sir.
Page 78.
12 and 13. Got it. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13 reads, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
It said what?
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Who told me to charm the serpent? Who told me to charm?
You.
I did. So I chose to charm this serpent. It was my idea. So when you have an idea and you have a conflated imagination and you get bitten by this conflated imagination, the Bible says what?
It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Go ahead.
Or any such as come nigh wild beast.
Or you provoking getting close to wild beasts. You sticking your arm in a cage.
Yeah.
You're trying to feed it by hand. So when you create these ideas to go above what's normal and safe and sound, and then you stick yourself out there and you get bitten, meaning you receive a consequence, the Bible said, who gonna feel sorry for you?
Nobody.
Who told you to do that?
Who told you to put your hand in the cage?
Who told you to try to pet the walrus? Or the elephant seal? Who told you to swim with the sharks? Who told you to do this? You hear about that lady? Now there's an island that had wild pigs on it, and I think it's near the Bahamas, or it's near Trinidad, I think. Somewhere they got the island where you could swim with the wild pigs. The pigs are wild, but they're swimming pigs.
Mm.
And these pigs, these ladies were on a vacation, and they thought it was fun to go swim with the wild pigs. So they're in the ocean swimming with the pigs at the beach. And one of the pigs bit the lady, and she got the flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh my God.
Because she had an open wound, and the pigs pooped in the water. And so she had to have her body almost completely amputated on several limbs. Because the pig, what she thought was fun, what she thought was entertaining, what she thought was vacation like, ended up being a tragedy. Yeah, where's that island at? Just where the swimming pigs are.
Bahamas.
It's in the Bahamas. For the Bahamians out there. So
Pigs on the beach.
wild pigs on the beach that people thought it's fun. I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna get a selfie. When that selfie came, it turned them into amputations. But who will pity a person that's doing things that's out of the ordinary? Who made you think that? So he said, read it again. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Who had Jeremiah chapter 11?
Time.
Read verse 11.
Time. Jeremiah chapter 11 and verse 11. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will bring evil upon them.
Okay, because you got a bunch of wicked imaginations. You got a bunch of wicked thoughts. You're not content or satisfied with what I have to give you. So you try to create your own happiness. And when you create your own happiness, it turns around and it bites you in the butt. And you're bitten by what you thought was joy or fun or pleasure. Read.
Time. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape.
It said, but I'm going to put you in a position, because you brought this on yourself, where you won't be able to what?
To escape.
Read on.
And though they shall cry unto me.
He said, and even though now you didn't realize it was a bad decision. He said, now you're going to cry unto me. Read on.
I will not hearken unto them.
He said, but I'm going to stop listening to you. Because you were in imagination mode. Because you were choosing your own joy. You were choosing your own direction. You weren't obedient to me. You were doing things that you came up with, that you contrived and conceived by your own imagination. So now you're in a situation where you got to suffer. And I'm not going to listen to you. Remember, the Most High said he was protesting with Israel.
Yeah.
Obey my voice. Obey my voice. Obey my voice. So after protesting with Israel for so long, now you just got to lay in the bed that you chose. These are the cards you dealt. That's how the Most High do it. But we be crying and we want pity. We want mercy. That's after we go in imagination mode.
Yeah.
Read this for me. Follow page 394. Right here. What would one say?
Okay. Philo, page 294.
Let's see. Go ahead.
Point 87. What would one say? Suppose anyone were to see a bear.
He said, how would you look at this situation? He says, suppose anyone would see a what?
To see a bear.
You see a bear, you know what a bear is. You got grizzly bears, you got black bears. You got polar bears, you got different kind of bears. You got black bears, brown bears, honey bears. He said, who would suppose, how would you look at this situation? You watch a person see a bear. Read.
Or a lion.
Oh, they see a lion. Read.
Coming on with violence.
And you see this bear or this lion coming on with violence. Read.
While he might pacify and tame him.
He said, while you got an opportunity to try to calm the situation down. Read on.
Were to provoke him and make him savage.
And so why would you entice a bear to become more animalistic than what they already are?
Wow.
Who would agitate a wild animal that's already crazy? That's already impulsive?
Wow.
Who would do that? Who? Come get it. Come get it. Nope. Who's gonna play with a wild animal? You know, you see that one dude who's I don't even see, you can't even see the rest of the video. I don't know what happened, but he's throwing a bag of chips or something out.
I don't know. I said the same thing.
He's throwing some whatever he's got in his little pouch. He's throwing it to the bear.
It's small
and it's little, and then the bear just raise up, chase. He just goes straight at the guy. He don't want that little bitty. He don't want the crumbs this guy giving. He wants the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're teasing him. You give him a little crumb, you just messing with it. That's a bear. You don't even, the video cut off. You don't see what happens next. He said, but how do you look at a situation where you see a person that's see a bear in its wildness, in the wild, or a lion in the wild, and you agitate an already savage animal? Read on.
In order to give up himself as an unpitied meal.
It says all that this man becomes is a what?
Unpitied meal.
All that man is an unpitied snack. So ain't nobody having no pity on that individual. You brought it on yourself is what he's saying. That's what the Most High is saying when we relish on our own imagination and we start making our own decisions and we become disobedient and not following. He's saying you brought it on yourself. And now you want pity. You just become an unpitied snack. You just become an unpitied meal. Read on.
And feast to those ravenous monsters.
Now you're just a meal for a ravenous monster because you provoked through your own individual mentality and imagination an already savage beast. What he's saying is this is what man does when they go above nature. When they start to create their own direction that they want to follow. All they do is they're putting themselves in a predicament where they're about to encounter danger, and then nobody's going to have pity for them when they're bitten by it or eaten by it.
There's pictures. I always see these pictures out, and it's like that. There's some kind of rapper, bro. He had a concert. Everybody died in the concert.
Oh, Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. But you see a picture he had in the background, and it was a picture of a demon eating people. It's a picture of a devilish spirit eating people.
Yeah, space.
Yeah, or you see that movie where Kronos is eating his son, and Devil's Advocate in the background where he's talking, and you see the background a picture of Kronos eating his son. But it's the spirit. If it's not a physical animal, it's a spiritual scenario where a person's getting devoured or consumed by something.
Yeah,
because they're too close to something that's
you
dangerous.
talk about the stage performance where the props on stage is Travis Scott's mouth being open.
Yes,
and everybody's walking through to go to
that's
the concert.
What I'm saying.
And there's a statement up top that says, "See you on the other side."
Yes.
See you on the other side of what? Once you go through that mouth and go to that concert, you might get trampled like many people did.
Yeah.
But who brought it? Whose idea was it?
They went to the other side.
They went to the other side, all right. But what he's saying is, it's not wise. It's not wise to create and conjure up your own direction and your own pleasure. What you're doing is you're taking big chances. And when you take big chances and fail, nobody's going to have pity on you. Who going to pity the dope man?
Another story. There's this dope man. I think it happened in San Antonio. I'm not sure where it happened. I think it was San Antonio. The dope man had like Bentleys and nice cars out, but he wanted to be the hood. And so he was riding around this nice vehicle, and people
that was here in San Antonio.
But the people were like, "Listen, man, this dude's living really good, and this place is really bad," and they got jealous of the fact that he was having his way, he was winning, and so they just killed him.
Yeah.
I think it was on his birthday.
They killed him on his birthday, and he was living in the projects in Section 8 housing with fancy cars, $100,000 cars, living in the projects with big screen TVs all over his apartment, latest clothes, video games. Meaning everybody knew what he was doing, but he thought he was protected being in that arena. Until some guys gave him a phone call, and he showed up, he pulled up, and they sprayed him up. Young cat. But who gonna feel sorry for him? Because he made a choice. That's why the Most High said, "Obey my voice." The Most High said, "I protested with Israel in the wilderness. I begged them earnestly to listen to me." He said, but we walk after the imagination of our own wicked heart. So when that happens and we suffer, who's going to feel sorry for you? Where's the pity? Oh, you want to throw a pity party? No, you don't get no pity party. Because these ideas you formulated. These were your conceits. You contrived these thoughts. Now you want mercy. Now you want pity. Now you want empathy. That's what we do. We go out of bounds away from the Most High's safety, indulge in our own pleasures, get stung, cry out for pity, throw a pity party. Read on.
Unless indeed anyone will assert that it is of no use to anyone to oppose the asps and the serpents of Egypt.
He says, just like it doesn't make any sense to stand in front of an asp or a serpent in Egypt. Read on.
And all the other things which destructive poison inflict inevitable death on those who are once bitten.
That's why I said it don't make no sense to stand in front of us of a poisonous asp. It don't make no sense to be a snake charmer. But being a snake charmer is no different than somebody that's contriving their own imagination and choosing their own direction and picking their own life. That's no different. It said it doesn't no good. Let that go. Go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23.
Hold on, let me get it. Read.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
That's why he says the commandment is a what?
Lamp.
You know when if you're a ship out at sea and the waves are rocky and there's storms and you're coming close to land and you don't want to run aground, it's beneficial to have a lamp out on the bay, which is called a lighthouse. Because at least you can navigate. At least you can see where you're going. You can choose, okay, I can mark, I can see the lighthouse, so I can get my azimuth out, and I can get my coordinates, and I can tell, okay, I'm 150 feet from the ground. I'm 100 feet from land, or I'm 300 knots away from the lighthouse. At least it gives me some type of coordinates. It gives me direction. He said the what?
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
He says the commandments is a lamp, and the law is light. Meaning, if I allow the Most High to become obedient to His word, I can allow the Most High to give me safety. He can give me direction. He can give me coordinates. He can give me a knowledge of what I'm doing and where I'm going. Read on.
And reproofs of instruction.
And reproofs or the whips of instruction. Read on.
Are the way of life.
It says that's a good life. Getting stung by the Most High is a way of life. That's a good thing. That's why we started off in the beginning of class with 2 Samuel chapter 24, when the Most High gave David 3 choices. He says, which one shall you choose? And then what did he choose? He says, I choose to fall in the hand of the Lord. That means I'd rather take the Most High's correction. I'd rather take the Most High's spanking. I'd rather take the Most High's exhortation versus choose my own. Because at least David said, I know the Most High is merciful. So at least if I'm obedient to the Most High and things don't go my way, at least I know the Most High will still have mercy to me. I'm going to show you something. Go to Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 8. Give me verse 14.
God, Ecclesiastes 8 and 14. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth,
Go ahead.
that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked.
You know what he says? He says there's a vanity that's done upon the earth, meaning even when good men are being good, they could still have a fate or a situation where bad things happen to good men. What is he saying? Just because you're just or you're obedient to the Most High's commandments, does it guarantee you that bad things won't happen?
No.
No. Good things happen to bad men. I mean, bad things happen to good men. Read on.
God. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity.
He said, I said also this is what?
I said that this also is vanity.
It says it can go both ways. Read.
Then I commended mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun.
No,
than,
I just wanted verse 14.
14,
It says, there is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. And again, there be wicked men to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. That means good things happen to bad people too. Just like bad things happen to good people. But at least, if I know I'm obedient to the Most High, read verse 13.
Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow.
So at least I know that it's guaranteed to be bad, even though it's not bad at the moment for the wicked, but it's guaranteed to end bad overall for the wicked. So even if I'm just and I'm trying to be right by the Most High and bad things happen to me, at least I know I still get some mercy from the Father, because I still chose to do good. So at least I know I'm getting some mercy on the back end. But then you have a situation that's vice versa. Sometimes good things happen to bad people, but in the end, it's not going to be well with them. So which one would we rather have? That's all that David is saying, man. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I chose wrong, but at least I would much rather fall into the hands of the Lord. Much rather. Let that go and go back to Proverbs.
God.
Who had Proverbs?
Verse
Chapter 6.
God.
6 and 23.
6 and 23. Kind of cover. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23 reads, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
That's the best life to have, is be corrected by the Most High, but still try to be obedient versus create your own way. That's a good life. Read on.
To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
It says, and if you keep the law, I'm sorry. Not just do it. Hold on one second. Let me respond. That's exactly. He said, does it mean that we should rely on him regardless of our situation and not rely on our good deeds to keep us safe? Absolutely. That's exactly what he said. Because at least we know in the end, it'll be well with us, even if bad things happen to good people. It'll still end good for us. Being vice versa, where I'm a bad guy and good things happen to me, but in the end, it's not going to be well with me. So he's saying that if we keep the commandments, he says it'll keep us safe from what?
To keep thee from the evil woman.
Read.
From the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart. Neither.
That point is important too. That lust not after the beauty in her heart. It goes back to that spirit of imagination, fantasy. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Looking upon the beauty of a woman opens the door to fantasy. Looking at the beauty of a man opens the door to fantasy. Looking at the beauty of any object in this physical reality opens the opportunity to start tasting, imagining, playing, entertaining, and then we start being the fool, start to add more gasoline to the fire till it's ablaze. And that blaze and that flame is our lust, our strong desire, and then our sadness. Because the sadness follows that strong lust, because the imagination you created, you can't actually tangibly get it. You have to cross lines to get it. So I can't have this object because I got to cross the line. I can't have this woman, I got to cross the line. I can't have this quote-unquote man I have to cross the line. That imagination opens the door where you can have it at what cost? What do I have to do to get it now? Now we're in this proposition situation. This is when you attract spirits to you. Now spirits come, well, we can do this way. Hey, how about we can do this? We can. Hey, you know what? Listen, I know it's pretty bad, but we can also maneuver this situation and maybe get like this. Start turning into this methodical, manipulative personality. That's the manipulator behind the imagination.
But the purpose of the manipulation is to get what I want.
Exactly.
And that's the danger. Yes, sir.
Definition on Dawiyah's point.
What you got?
Fanciful. 1828. It's on Dawiyah's point. It says, guided or dictated by the imagination, full of wild images.
So it says guided or what?
It says, guided or dictated by the imagination. It says, full of wild images.
It says full of what?
Wild images.
So full of wild images. So if I have a mind frame full of wild images, then I'm gonna be guided by my what?
Wild images.
I'm gonna be guided by my imagination. I'm gonna be led by it. What you got?
Then it also says subject to the influence.
It says subject to influence. So now we understand how dangerous that is. So the problem is though, read Proverbs chapter 6 and read verse 25.
Proverbs chapter 26. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 25.
Read verse 24. Where was that?
Verse 24 reads, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
Now the Bible says she's an evil woman. Now her tongue says what?
Her tongue of a strange.
No.
It says flattery.
So her tongue says flattery. What does that mean?
She's a nice person.
Say again.
She talks as a nice person.
I don't understand why.
Trying to entice you, gaining your favor.
I don't understand what's so wrong about what I'm doing. You're saying she's bad, but that ain't what she's saying. She's saying all the right things. But the Most High says she's bad.
You don't want me to be
Not in a good way either.
But yeah.
You don't want me to be happy.
So what is that doing to my mind when the Bible says keep you from a strange woman, but her flattering words say otherwise? The way she speaks doesn't really match what the Most High is telling me to look out for. Wait a minute, something's not right here. I don't get it. You telling me she ain't no good, but she's telling me all the right things. She's telling me everything I want to hear. So what happens? What does that mean? Where does a man's mind go? Especially if I don't have the law. Especially if I don't have the commandments. Especially if I don't have that lighthouse for safety. What's going to happen?
You don't allow himself to be enticed.
But first, I'm confused because it doesn't make sense. But we're gonna see if we can help this make sense. As is follow page 334. It says, "For what is good is hard to be found." It says good things are hard to find. It says, or one may even say, is utterly impossible to be found in a confused life. So if I live a confused life, can I ever really find out what's good?
No.
Because you know what I'll end up doing? Live by trial and error.
Yep.
I'll live by trial and error. Because this person didn't seem like they were so bad. But I had nothing to go off of because I never really understood the benefit of having the law as a lamp and a light to my feet. I never saw the benefit of the chastisement, of the correction that the Most High was trying to give me. I never saw the benefits of the scrutiny and the wisdom that comes from the Bible, from the discernment that comes from the Bible. So I never saw the benefit. So because I never saw the benefit, I'm confused. So I tried this relationship, or I tried this friendship, but I don't have anything to go off of as signs of danger. So I'm just going to try it out. And then what happens when you try it out? You get bit. You had no warnings, no counsel, no wisdom, no instruction to validate your commitment and your involvement in that relationship. You had nothing to go off of other than just what you see. They seem cool. They're saying the right things. They got a job. They work. They go to school. Can't be a bad guy. Can't be a bad woman. I don't have any deeper substance to make valid decisions off of, because I didn't see the benefit of the law. I didn't see the defense and the safety that came from the Most High's commandments. So I just started involving myself with people with no discernment. And when you involve yourself with people with no discernment, he says it's almost impossible to find that which is good when you live a confused life. When you don't have any foundation to go off of. So you just make decisions. Some end up being good. Some end up being bad. But it's a gamble now. Life is a gamble. I'm just taking chances. And we already read what happens when you take chances. Who can pity a snake charmer? You taking chances. So I'm read on. He says, and if it says, for what is good is hard to be found, or one may even say it is utterly impossible to be found in a confused life. So if I'm not clear about what it is that I'm doing in my life, I'm gonna have a very hard time finding out, because I have no discernment. I have no understanding. I don't really understand what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out as I go. I'm really going to engage and embark on a lot of dangerous circumstances. I'm going to put myself in danger. Yes, sir.
Does that mean that you're not applying God's process to some of those decisions? You're going off of a feeling or emotion, and you're really not getting the proper counsel. You're not going through, the proper channel.
Exactly.
In which God just wants you to go through.
Absolutely. You know why that's so important? Because we're gonna read on why that's so important from Philo's perspective. Philo's perspective. Read this part right here in the orange.
In the orange. Page 334. And if one inquiries,
it says if you really want to inquire about the carnal nature that each and every one of us possess, male and female, he says we all have a starting point. Read on.
Whether the soul,
he said, if you ever ask yourself, what is your soul? Is it good or is it bad? He says, if you really want to know about the soul, what does he say?
Which is a harlot.
He says the soul is a what?
Is a harlot.
Every man and woman, their carnal nature is a what?
Harlot.
It's a harlot. It's a whore. Deep down inside, we're all whores. Male and female. That's where the soul starts at, because it's in a carnal nature. It's in a carnal state. It's impulsive. That's what the soul is without understanding, without the commandments. That's why David said, so foolish and so ignorant was I.
I was as a beast.
I was as a beast before thee. That's why it says in Proverbs 21:16, he says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. If I don't have understanding, I'm a zombie.
You're right.
He said, so by nature, the soul is a what?
Harlot.
It's a harlot. Read on.
Is in every place of virtue.
He says, read it clear. Read it.
And
straight.
if one inquires whether the soul, which is a harlot, is in every place of virtue.
He says, if you ever ask yourself, do you really got a virtuous soul? If you really want to be honest with yourself, you really want to put a mirror up to yourself and take a look at you. He says, are you really virtuous? Let's find out. Read on. I got you.
One will be distinctly told that it is not.
He says, if you want to be honest, you're not as virtuous as you may seem. You're not as virtuous as you may come off. Remember the first verse we read was, there's no good men on earth. All are sinners. But if we want to be honest with ourselves, if we don't use the commandments as a guiding light will all be subject to this Holy Spirit that's already naturally in us. Read? What you got?
It was also proven, exactly what you're saying, in the fact that while we were told to wear fringes, that we seek not our own heart, our own eyes, after which we used to go
a-whoring. Right. But the eyes and our own heart is the instruments that we use to go a-whoring. But the desire is already in us to go a-whoring, according to what Philo was saying. Read that again.
And that says like, and if one inquires whether the soul, which is a harlot, is every place of virtue.
Do we have all virtues in us naturally? No. Read on.
One will be distinctly told that it is not.
Go ahead.
And that it has not been previously for a common, unchaste, and wanton. And
it says for is not. It says for in. You gotta read.
It has not been previously.
It says right here. You gotta separate this right here. It says for a common. It says for a common, unchaste,
and wanton, and utterly shameless woman.
It says because he's comparing that to us in the spirit. Naturally, he says we're unchaste. We're wanton, meaning we're eager for the flesh. We're zealous for the flesh. He says utterly shameless. Read on.
Selling the flower of her beauty.
It says we'll sell out the flower of our beauty. What is the flower of our beauty? Our innocence. The flower of our beauty is our innocence.
Yeah.
He said we'll sell our innocence in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Read on.
At a low price.
At a what?
At a low price.
It says we'll sell ourselves cheap spiritually at a real low price. If you really want to inspect the quality of the soul, we'll sell it for cheap.
Yeah.
We're really not high priced at all. We're not
20 dollars.
We're not really good at what we do. We'll sell it cheap. We'll sell our innocence for cheap.
Trying to survive.
Yeah, I just
use what I got to get what I want.
I just need some gas money.
Yes.
Read.
Two pizzas over here. And making her external parts.
It said, but what we do is we'll make our external parts what?
Both bright
and clean. I'll refreshen my external parts. Go ahead.
With purifications.
So those are ointments, which are perfumes and oils. That's what purifications are. Those are ointments, which are perfumes and oil. So on the external, I'm full of perfume.
Yeah.
I got myself cleaned up. Crazy. On the outside, I smell good on the outside. What else?
And washings.
And I keep my private areas clean. Read on.
But leaving her inward parts unclean and vile.
It says, but the inside of me is what?
Unclean and vile. It's both.
It's both.
Because unclean is one thing, vile is another.
Yes.
Vile is infected, sick.
Disgusting.
But unclean is just the condition, the nature of I haven't been combed and groomed.
Yes. He's saying what we do in life when we're without the Most High's commandments is we embark on a cover-up.
Wow.
We embark on a cover-up. And we're really inside vile and unclean. But on the outside, we're perfumed. On the outside, we're washed. But we've neglected the inside.
It's crazy, bro.
Yes, sir.
No, that's the instruments of makeup is kind of just coming about. We try and cover up with a smile, or we focus on our image.
Hold on. Read on.
It says, and being like pictures.
He says, and being like pictures. Read on.
Painted.
What do you do with pictures?
You paint pictures.
You paint pictures. What do you paint pictures with? Colors.
Yeah.
Wow. So so we decorate ourselves. He says like pictures painted. Read on.
With colors about the face.
And where do we put the colors at?
About the face.
Why do we put the colors on the face? to hide the
absence.
It says, like pictures painted, we put the paint on the face, the colors on the face. Go ahead.
Because of the absence.
And I put the colors on my face because I'm hiding something what? Because of the absence what?
The absence of all natural beauty.
Because I really don't have real beauty.
Wow.
So I fake beauty.
And the true beauty was supposed to be, I don't know, I'm trying to jump ahead.
No, you're not.
The true beauty was supposed to be the quality of virtue and caliber of virtue before the Lord.
Bingo.
That was supposed to be the real beauty that we carry. But because we don't value that beauty, then we end up not valuing ourselves internally anyway.
We value Maybelline.
Yeah. We start becoming poverty. We go into poverty trying to find different embellishments.
So that which I paint myself with is just still another aspect of my imagination.
Wow.
To hide the part in me that's really missing. So we live life covering up who we really are because we're really empty and shallow on the inside. All this happens to people that refuse the obedience of the Most High and chase after their own imagination. They become costume-like in nature.
Yeah.
They become falsified in nature. Because on the inside, they're really empty because they have no desire to be obedient to the Most High's commandments. So they just start to put on costumes and put on makeup.
It's about role play.
Or role play.
Because the role play, I'm not trying to be all gratuitous or whatever they call it, crass or grotesque, but crude. But that role play energy is still that escape from reality. It taps back into that imagination. Because now I want different experiences. And so now I'm a helicopter flyer. Now I'm a thug. Now I'm a businessman and a thug and a helicopter pilot. And I'm a financial statistician. I have financial skill sets. And I also am a preacher. And I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm a model.
Yep.
And I'm an author. And I'm a doctor, and I'm a herbalist the next day, and part of me I'm going back to school, and I'm a student again. You start following these different little trails of fantasy.
Yeah.
And then people start playing roles because they want to indulge in the fantasy they're creating. When really it's just that's really the makeup.
Yes.
That's the hiding and the imaging
of what's not really there anyway.
Yeah.
Because I become a role player in this regard.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing what I was made to do, which was to be obedient with the Most High.
Wow. So I'm technically lost now.
Yes. And that's why it says it's hard to find good in a confused life. Really, I'm confused.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
We throwing filters on our BS. Filters. I'm just saying, being real. We throwing filters on the real life.
Yeah, but there's the danger though. If I don't get the commandments and I choose to live, I don't choose to value the commandments. Now I'll go back to Proverbs chapter 6 and then read that verse 25.
Proverbs chapter 6, verse 25 reads, "Lust not after her beauty."
Because that beauty was external and it was only hiding what was empty on the inside.
It was disguised.
It was a disguise. It wasn't real.
That's what makes her evil.
That's what makes it evil, because she has to use flattering words to cover up what's really not there. Read on.
"Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
Go ahead.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids."
It said, because if you're looking at the wrong things, you could easily be confused that you're not dealing with somebody with real substance.
Yeah.
Everybody ends up, because they refuse to follow the Most High's commandments, they end up getting fake people in life.
Yeah.
I end up meeting fake people. Get catfished.
Yep.
Because I didn't value real discernment. I didn't value real understanding. So I got took. Because my judgment is piss poor. I had nothing to go off of. Read on.
Verse 26. "For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread."
And according to Philo, every man and woman starts off as a whorish soul. Has whorish tendencies. Read on.
"And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life."
Go ahead.
Can a man take fire in his bosom?
Can a man gamble with living life, making choices without the Most High's commandments? Read on.
And his clothes not be burned?
If I take chances and I live life gambling with people, and I really don't understand people, eventually I'm gonna get what?
Burned.
I'm gonna get burned. Because I didn't use real discernment. I didn't use real judgment. I didn't use real wisdom. Read on.
Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned?
Go ahead.
So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
But it said, but what? How did I do it? Because I didn't have real judgment. I didn't value the commandments. I didn't value that guiding light. So I make mistake on top of mistake on top of mistake on top of mistake because I didn't value what the Most High had that He said was important. Read this right here. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 3.
Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha chapter 9, verse 3.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah.
9 and 3?
I said Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 3.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 3. Page 75. Meet not with an harlot.
But how do I know that's a harlot? How would I know if I don't have understanding? How do I know if I don't have discretion? How do I know if I don't have wisdom? Because that's not what she's saying. That's not how she looks. That's not how he looks. That's not what he's saying. It sounds great. It's flattery. Read on.
Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares.
Go ahead.
Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer.
Go ahead.
Lest thou be taken with her attempts.
Go ahead.
Gaze not on a maid.
That singer is that language you were saying earlier. That beautiful language. You gotta be singing, actual singing.
You know, it's known in North America in particular. It's not globally, and it's not all birds, but in North America they say that the male species sings more than the female species.
Wow.
Because the male species is singing for mating purposes. They're trying to find a mate. That's what they're singing for. So it's not in nature for a woman to be out there looking for a mate like that. That's more like what in nature you see males dominating, whether it be rams, whether it be goats, whether it be lions, whether it be bears. They all fight for
attention
for the female, even amongst birds. But you see the dancing birds in they're not New Zealand, but in Madagascar. They got them birds that dance on they decorate their nest, and then they dance and they put on a show for the female. Yeah. And if they get enough attention, then they can mate. They can win her over by how clean they keep the nest. Fish even do it too. Fish even remove rocks and pebbles and designs inside the fish bed. And if the female fish likes what they see, then they're allowed to mate. But that's not normal for a woman to be out trying to catch like that. That's something that a man by nature normally does. That's why I said if a woman is reversing the roles, that's a red flag. She shouldn't be throwing herself out there like that. Read on.
Verse 5. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her.
Go ahead.
Give not thy soul unto harlots.
Go ahead.
That thou lose not thine inheritance.
It says, but why is he warning us of being sure what we know what we're getting involved with? Why is it so important to have the Bible? Because it's a protector. The Bible is a protector from falling into different traps that people portray, because not everybody is wearing the right costume. A lot of people are wearing a phony exterior, but not letting you see the real person. You don't know the real person. You just got what they wanted you to see. So he's saying that it's critical that we be obedient to the Most High's commandments because it's a guiding light for danger. Otherwise, we're setting ourselves up for a trap. This is the benefit of having the Most High's judgment and his wisdom. Give me verse 7 one more time.
Con, verse 7.
No, give me verse 6.
Con, verse 6. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance.
It says that thou lose not thy what?
Inheritance.
Now this is very important. The Most High says, don't sell your soul. Don't sell yourself cheap. Because you may forfeit what the Most High has for you in store. Right? So it's important that we know that there's something in store that's reserved for us. That we could be in danger of losing if we're not careful. Now give me that Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 7.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 7. Look not round about thee in the streets of the city.
It says, look not round about thee in the what?
In the streets of the city.
So I'm not looking for this type of hookup that I created by my own imagination. I'm not going off my own imagination trying to create a relationship, trying to create this friendship. I'm going to use discretion. I'm going to use judgment. I'm going to use counsel. I'm going to use wisdom. I'm going to make sure that I see what I see. He said, if not, he says, look not in every place for what?
Look not round about thee in the streets of the city.
Go ahead.
Neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof.
What's the solitary places? I'm in the club. I'm at the bar. I'm at the dives. I'm at the hookah lounge. I'm at a spot. I'm at a late night spot. But what am I doing? I'm looking for something. Why am I looking for something? Why would anybody be looking for something? Why would I be in chase mode?
Lust. Lust.
Let's find out. Why would I be out in the streets trying to connect in the crevices of the city, in the late night hours of the streets?
On a Friday.
Yeah. Why am I in this mode? Read this from me right here. Why am I chasing? Right here, this part 164.
Come. It says, but he who endeavors to collect everything at once.
It says, but for somebody that's out collecting, that's out hunting, I'm out trying to get what I can get. I'm out trying to find something. It says I'm out collecting. This is what somebody's doing. I'm out trying to see who I can hook up with, who I can make a connection with. It says he who is out what?
But he who endeavors to collect everything at once.
I'm in chase mode. I'm trying to collect everything at once. I'm this hoarder that we talked about earlier. Read.
Is only acquiring for himself despair.
It says what I'm doing when I'm in chase mode and I'm trying to create relationships and create and stimulate these things, and I'm out just trying to collect,
Trying to catch them all.
trying to catch. Mm-hmm. What I'm doing is I'm actually setting myself up for what?
Failure.
No, he said what?
It says for despair.
He says for despair, and what else?
With great sorrow.
And I'm gonna be hurt on the back end, cause I'm out collecting. I'm out trying to connect, make these connections. I'm in chase mode. I'm in the streets looking. He says the only thing I'm gonna get is despair and sorrow, great sorrow. Read on.
For he becomes full of despair if he expects that the Most High will only rain good things upon him.
He says because a person that's in chase mode has a particular mentality. A person that runs the streets has a particular mentality. They have a particular thought process. They're infected with a particular thought process. In that process, we're going to explain what makes a man or a woman go in chase mode. What makes a man or a woman go in hookup mode? Deviate from proper instruction and counsel and go try to find my own joy and happiness. I'm really setting myself up for danger. I'm really setting myself up for sorrow, for despair. Because I possess a certain mentality. What is the mentality that I possess? Read that part again and read it slow.
For he becomes full of despair.
It says, for the person that's moves with urgencies, and I just have to collect, and I got to get this and get this now. Read.
If he expects that the Most High will only rain good things upon him.
That means that the Most High will give me good. But read on.
At the present moment.
Stop. The Most High is only going to give me good. And this person going to come across my path at this present moment. That means I have to take my chances. Because this is my opportunity to go for what makes me happy. I got to roll the dice. I got to gamble on this one. Because this is my chance and it's in front of me. And I bet not waste it and I bet not lose it. Why would a person have this mentality? Read on.
And that he will not do so hereafter.
And because I believe that the Most High is not going to bless me later.
Yeah.
That I have no good coming to me later, so I better catch all that I can catch right now. It's a chance of a lifetime. I got to go for it now. I got to go for my pleasure now. This is what stirs a man and what provokes a man to go into chase mode or a woman to go into chase mode. Because I feel like I have to take this chance now because there's nothing greater coming for me later. What do you call that mentality?
YOLO.
Doubt.
Say it again.
Doubt.
What is that mentality?
Doubt and despair.
Why is it doubt first, though?
It's doubt because there's no belief that the Most High sees the person and is acknowledging the person's condition and is aware of where that spirit lacks and that the Most High has a plan or option to get that person or to satiate that person, to get that person the thirst or the lack or the void they got. They have no concept or belief the Most High is going to solve the lack in their life. Therefore, I got to put myself in the shoes of the Most High. And I have to control the circumstances myself. And I have to go on to the pursuance. And I have to force my way. Or I will be in this isolated, sad condition. Which slowly goes into spirit of despair. It advances from doubt to despair because now there's a fear. And I'm not regressing, but I'm promoting myself to this point where I'm not going to have. I'm too old. I've been alone too long. I don't have the resources. Nobody wants me. There's a spirit of fear starts to build up on a person. So that fear and doubt and despair start to become this cocktail of negative that leads to a person making even more desperate decisions.
And desperation increases. And that's why I'll bypass the haughty eyelids.
Yeah.
That's why I'll look past the makeup.
Yeah.
That's why I'll look past the fact that this person is not authentic on the inside.
Because I want to believe. I'm desperate to believe that this is the moment.
This is my moment. Yes. Yes. Yes, it can be that they're ungrateful. And it is that they're ungrateful. But first, they go into this mode that I have to take what's in front of me because I really don't have any faith that I'm going to get something better later. And this is why I'll subject myself to just getting anything and anybody. And I'll get taken by anything and anybody. And I'll get deceived by anything and anybody. Because I bypassed the Most High's wisdom and instruction, made my own decision, didn't feel like I was going to get something better later, so I just took what was in front of me right now. And for those people that just take what's in front of them right now, they don't validate the person, they don't vet the person, they don't get a second opinion of the person. They just engage, they just indulge.
So I don't want someone to tell me, because the worst thing in the world is to hear somebody say, "You need to throw that guppy back in the water." Oh, no, I caught something.
Yeah.
I got something good, and you don't want me to have it.
Yep.
That fish, that's the 3-eyed fish, bro. No, this is the fish.
That fish ain't healthy. Ain't good for you.
This fish is great for flavor and nourishment. I
Yeah.
want this fish.
Oh. But we don't listen. Why we don't listen is because there's something in us that makes us go into chase mode with no regard of qualifying a person.
True.
Read on. He says they only think about the present. This is they're bent on the present. Read.
It says, and that he will not do so hereafter.
And that they don't believe that the Most High is going to bring me anything better later if I wait. Read on.
And he becomes inclined.
It says, and when you have this mentality that I have to take these chances, I have to engage in this individual, because I'm in chase mode. I have to get it and get it now. I really have doubt in the Most High anyway. That's really the source of it, is that I really doubt the Most High. And when I doubt the Most High, and I don't really trust the Father, I become inclined to do what?
To infidelity.
Remember, incline means the appetite to eat.
Yeah.
So even if this woman is married,
Oh yeah, that's a real one.
what will make me inclined to take this woman that's married already?
Their time is over, and now it's my time. That's what the person tells himself. Obviously, she's not happy. Obviously, maybe I can make her happy. She can make me happy. Our happiness is together. This person's in the way of our happiness.
It's that idea that I could take somebody else's possession that doesn't belong to me. That the thrill of it is based upon taking what belongs to another person.
Is it the thrill of it, of taking it, what belongs to another person, or the fact that I don't care if I take what belongs to another person?
Because I'm in need.
Because I'm in chase mode, and I think this is my opportunity, so I don't care if anybody's affected. He says, when I have doubt in the Lord, it inclines a person to do what?
And he becomes inclined to infidelity.
So how does a person become inclined? How does a person that, or even a woman that's married, to be inclined to infidelity? How do you become inclined to infidelity? Read that definition of infidelity, correct?
Infidelity, 1828, Webster Dictionary. It says, in general, want of faith or belief.
I lack faith or what?
Belief.
So infidelity starts from a lack of what?
Lack of faith.
Come.
Want of faith or belief.
So when I don't, think about what he's saying.
It's crazy.
If I don't believe that the Lord is going to give me something greater later, I become inclined, or make my situation better later, I become inclined to infidelity. I begin to be what?
It says, in general, want of faith or belief.
That means I lack faith and I lack belief. What else?
It says, disbelief of the inspiration of the scriptures.
What does infidelity mean?
Disbelief of the inspiration of the scriptures.
So what's really in a chaser of relationships, or a collector of relationships, or a collector of bodies, so to speak, like the young generation talk about, or a hit list. The real problem in this individual that will even go as far as committing adultery is the fact that they really don't believe in who?
The Most High.
They really don't believe in the Most High. That's the root source of a cheater. That's the root source of a man whore. That's the root source of a woman whore. That's the root source of an adulterer. That's the root source of an adulteress. I gotta get it right now. You're not looking at the fact that this ain't yours. You're not looking at the fact that this person is fake. This person's wearing a costume. You just got to have it. You got to have it because you really don't believe that the Most High got something better for you. It's because of unbelief. It's what's driving a person to just take and get what I can get no matter what. And accept just anybody. Sis, make that question a little bit more clear. Just if you can retype it, or I can understand it. Just make it a little bit more clear.
Oh, what if? See, further, what
Okay.
if? What if you have bodies because you're looking for love?
Well,
Which is
what that's why we started the class with everybody's a sinner. And that's why the title of the class is called Fall into the Hands of the Lord. Because not everybody has done courtship the right way. Not everybody has courted the correct way. And created relationships the right way.
he says it's a part of incorrect courting or not following instructions.
But it's a result of me not believing in the scriptures enough.
Okay.
And not having enough faith that the Most High will bring me somebody right. So I embark on engaging myself and throwing myself out there to the public. Give me this part real quick. We didn't finish it. You read this earlier, but we didn't finish it. We didn't finish this part. But I'm going to go back and finish this little part right here. Finish this part right here. It says, she.
All right. Page 335. Philo. She who pursues that promiscuous evil
It says that she who pursues that promiscuous evil. Read.
called the vice,
It says which is called the vice. Read.
the vice of having many husbands.
It says the vice is what's the vice?
The vice of having many husbands.
What? So is having many husbands a vice? Having dealt with many men a vice? Yes. Yes, it's a vice. No different than alcohol. No different than drugs. No different than robbery. Crime. It's no different. It's a vice. No different than cigarettes, weed. It's a vice. Having a bunch of bodies could be a vice. It says what?
As if it were a good.
It says, read it clear.
Slight. It says, she who pursues the promiscuous evil called the vice of having many husbands, as if it were good,
Go ahead.
coveting polygamy.
She says she covets what?
Covets polygamy.
Throwing herself out to many men. Having many men. That's what she's coveting. Having many men. Read on.
And laying herself open
And she lays herself open. Go ahead.
for infinite variety.
For infinite what?
Variety.
Right. Go ahead.
And being mocked and insulted.
But the feeling that comes from it, you get what? There's shame that comes from it. There's shame that comes in it from that particular vice. Read.
And being mocked and insulted at the same time by 10,000 bodies.
It says by 10,000 what?
By 10,000 bodies.
So it's not that body's not just a young term.
No.
That bodies is an old term.
It's ancient time, right?
But it says by 10,000 bodies. Read on.
And things is not there.
It said, but the virtue isn't there. So it's a result of the lack of virtue. So I picked up this vice of collecting bodies because I didn't understand what virtue really is. I didn't invest in virtue. I disqualified virtue. And so my lack of belief in the Most High puts me in this, I gotta just take what's in front of me. When in actuality, you don't have to just take what's in front of you. In actuality, you could wait a little while. In actuality, you can let the Most High decide. But for those that chase, that thirst, that collect, that are just getting it by any means, the real issue on the back end is they really doubt the Lord. They really ain't got no faith. That's why they're in an emergency state I'm just going to make this relationship happen. I'm going to force the course of the river. Because I really ain't got no faith. I really ain't got no trust. And people that don't have trust are more likely or inclined to deal with infidelity. And finish that definition, Kariah.
Infidelity. It says, disbelief of the inspiration of the scriptures or the divine original of Christianity, or unbelief. Unfaithfulness.
It says they deal with what?
Unfaithfulness.
People that doubt God, it wouldn't be a surprise if they're what?
Unfaithful. They're not good partners.
They're not good partners.
They're not good partners. Bro.
People that really don't believe in the Lord
It's not a good
are not. It's not really a holy matrimony.
It's unholy matrimony. That's wild.
That's why it's good to teach. That's why a husband's job is to teach his wife. Read. What you got?
Kind of says, unfaithfulness, particularly in married persons, a violation of the marriage covenant by adultery or lewdness.
So yes, somebody that doesn't really have enough faith in God has the propensity more often to commit adultery or to commit some type of lewdness, because it really boils down to the fact that they don't really believe in the Lord, so they just feel like I just got to take right now. I got to get this right now. When in actuality, they don't have to get it right now. What's driving them is unbelief. Now go back and read this point. Finish this point right here. When it says, and he that will.
And he that will.
He, and that he will not.
Okay.
The good things thereupon.
Okay. It says, for he becomes full of despair.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it said, and he becomes inclined.
Okay. And he becomes inclined to infidelity, if he does not believe that the grace of the Most High.
So it says, if I don't believe that the grace of the Most High, like Christ told Paul, my grace is sufficient for thee. My grace is all you need in your life, and I'll take care of you. My grace will sustain you. He says, but for a person that doesn't believe in the graces of the Most High, read on.
Will be both at present and at all time abundantly poured upon those who are worthy of them.
He says, will be upon what?
Will be both at present and at all time abundantly poured upon those who are worthy of them.
He says, so now let me clear this up. He says, and he becomes inclined to infidelity if he does not believe that the grace of the Most High will be both at present and in all times abundantly poured upon
those who are worthy of
those who are worthy of him. So what he's saying is that if I'm not careful, I'll develop the wrong mentality. I'll bypass the Most High's instruction. I'll incline to attack my flesh and indulge in my flesh. Or I can have some faith in the Most High.
Yep.
I can be patient, not give myself to my indulgence, and believe that the Most High has something better in store for me. You understand that?
It's hard to believe that when a person doesn't give their conscience to the Father.
And here's another aspect that we gotta read, because this is very important. I'll explain. It says, and he becomes inclined to infidelity if he does not believe that the graces of the Most High will be both at present and in all times abundantly poured upon those who are worthy of them. So another aspect of a person that's willing to commit this adultery or chase or collect bodies is because they don't believe what? They don't believe that. Yes, sis? Bingo. They don't, thank you. They don't believe they're worthy of something better. So a person that operates in desperation and a chase mode is somebody that really doesn't feel or believe in the Lord is going to take care of them on the back end. And they have low self-esteem. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 5. And this is what will make a person take whatever. This is what will make a person engage whatever. Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 5. You can read it, whoever got it.
You say Ecclesiastes 14 and 5, page 78 in the Apocrypha.
Yep.
He that is evil to himself.
That's why it's very important that you don't become what?
Evil to yourself.
That's why it's very important that you don't lose hope in the Most High, that you don't lose faith in the Most High, and you don't lose trust in the Most High, and you become despair. You operate in despair, which is a hopelessness and a carelessness. I don't care no more, because that's what despair is. It turns into this despondency, which is I don't even care what happens to me. So if you're evil to yourself, where you meditate on such a negative perspective that you're no good, you're nobody, you're not worth anything, this is the best you're going to get, it ain't going to get no better, you don't deserve anybody better, you got to take what you can get. If you actually listen to that negative that ruminates through your mind, if you actually listen to negative thoughts too long, it says, he that is evil to himself, read.
He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
How you going to be good to somebody else? How you going to be good to somebody else when you're evil to yourself? When you have a low estimation of yourself, you have a low evaluation of who you are as a person. You don't believe God is going to bless you with anything better than what you have already. So therefore, you will take anything. And you really don't feel good about yourself. You really don't think positive about yourself. You don't see the good in yourself. You don't have to take anything in anybody. You don't have to operate with a desperate urgency to connect with people. And then I feel bad on the back end because I did so. So what's missing is the fact that my faith in the Most High is missing. The fact that he does love me and he does got something better for me. And if you don't think like that, and you think the worst of yourself, you'll just give yourself to anybody. And you'll take anybody, fake or not, married or not, in a relationship or not, because you don't even care. You don't even value yourself. Yes, sir.
Please look on your point shot for me.
Yes, sir.
Ecclesiastes chapter 20 and verse 32.
Read that.
It says, necessary patience in seeking the Most High is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide.
So if I don't have a guide, if I don't have instructors telling me what's good for me, if I don't have anybody looking out for me in my corner telling me what's appropriate, then I better have necessary what?
Patience.
I better have some patience. But it's hard to have patience when you don't think you're worth anything. It's hard to wait when you have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
You'll be in a mind frame of, I guess I'll take him. It's better than being alone.
Yeah.
Or this is the best I'm gonna get. I'm gonna compromise. But then you just compromise. That's why it says you run the risk of losing your inheritance. You run the risk of losing what the Most High got in store for you. Because the behind the scenes issue is you really doubt. You really ain't got no faith. That's why we do things without counsel. That's why we make connections without notice. That's why we get and grab anybody that come across our spectrum and our airwaves. That's why we don't say no. That's why we find ourselves cuddled up with complete strangers. I don't value myself, and I really don't got no faith in the Lord. And that he got something better waiting for me. I'm out of patience. Keep reading 14.
14 and middle is 5, I guess. Verse 5 over.
Yeah, go ahead.
he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his good.
You can't see the value in yourself. You can't see the good in yourself. Because you're too busy thinking negative. This is the curse of a negative mind of unbelief. This is the downside to having a negative thought process. This is the downside. When you carry a negative outlook all the time, it bleeds over into your relationships. It bleeds over into you selling the things that's valuable about yourself for a dirt cheap price. It leads to you finding yourself in strange predicaments with strange individuals who really don't care about you. But it's because of what you told yourself. You told yourself, it's not that important. It's not special. I'm not special. I'm not valuable. This is the curse of a negative thought process. That's why having faith is critical in more than one level. Not only your salvation, but it plays a major role in your everyday life and who you live life with. In choosing the right people, engaging in the right people. Having confidence in the Lord is a major aspect of being patient. Waiting for something better, knowing that the Most High got something better lined up. I'm not saying if you're in a relationship to quit one. But how much better would we be if we had this mentality? Read on.
Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself.
He that envieth himself is nothing more than a person that has a bad outlook. I got a bad outlook towards life. I got a bad outlook to myself. I don't think of myself as being anything. I hate myself. If you end up hating yourself in life, you will give yourself to anybody without care. And that's that despair. Yes, sir.
And that envy, right? The envy of self means that also too, that you look at the past, you compare your past with the present.
You can.
With the things that you accumulated back then to what you don't have in present time. And that you was doing, you can elude or yourself and saying, well, things was good back then versus, now.
True.
In that sense.
In a certain case, yes. But you know what? It's more to it than that. Let's finish reading this real quick. And he that is foolish.
Come. And he that is foolish, moreover, if he thinks that he shall be a competent guardian, if he thinks that he shall be a competent guardian of what he has collected contrary to God's will,
he says, and a man or woman must be a fool to think that I can go outside of the Most High's will. Establish my own will based upon my own imagination.
Competent guardian.
And everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's going to work out.
And everything's going to work out. He said this person got to be a fool to think that you can go outside the Most High's will, do your own will, satisfy your own imagination, and that nothing bad is going to happen.
It's going to work.
And it's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. He says, read that part again.
And he is a fool, moreover, if he thinks that he shall be a competent guardian of what he has collected contrary to God's will.
And you think even if I say I committed adultery, and I say I'm gonna be a better man than that other man, but although I think this, I still committed adultery. So why would the Most High bless that anyway?
You're not going to honor the engagement of the transaction. You're not going to honor the endeavor.
I got to be a fool to think the Most High gonna bless it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Read on.
For a very slight inclination is sufficient.
He said the problem is when the Bible says a little leaven leaveneth the what?
Oh,
All it takes is a little inclination. A of what we tell ourselves when we engage in dangerous circumstances that are without the concept of the Most High is going to take care of me later, or He'll help me. See, He'll set me up. But I got to do this right now. I got to get this right now. It says it takes a small inclination, very small. Don't take much to do what? Read.
For a very slight inclination is sufficient to make the mind, which in its boastful attributes.
It says because the mind is actually more boastful than it is rational.
Boastful meaning what?
Meaning proud. The mind will tell itself, I got to go deal with this person, or I got to take what I can get, even though I got it by not going through counsel, by not using the scriptures, by not having faith, by not having hope, or not having patience. I'm just going to do what I got to do because that's all I can get, so I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to just take it. He says, but the mind, it takes a little inclination, very slight. And the mind will tell itself what? Read on.
It says, for a very slight inclination is sufficient to make the mind, which in its boastful attributes, safely and stability to itself.
Add safely and stability to itself, meaning I can make this move and everything's going to be okay. Nothing's going to go wrong. Yes, sir.
Using the adultery. I'm going to sit here and commit adultery with this expectation that she's going to be faithful.
Right.
It's going to work out. It's going to be good.
But it says, but a mind could be convinced with only a little bit of inclination, because behind that inclination is pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen to me.
I got it the wrong way, and I think that I can go ahead and patch it up.
And it's going to be blessed.
In the right way.
Yes.
Yeah, and you lose it how you get it. You got it in adultery, you lose it in adultery. No, 9 times out of 10.
Why would you expect anything different?
Majority of the time, that's how it works out. If you get it with negative, you lose in the same spirit, the same negative. That's more common than nothing, anything else.
We see it all the time, but it doesn't take much, especially when a person is prideful, saying that I can make this move and it's going to work out. Then I'm really operating on pride and distrust and infidelity.
There's a cocktail of really stupidity and lack of virtue.
Yes.
Together.
Yep. Read on.
And impotent,
meaning I'm really powerless. I really ain't got no control. What makes you think you can control a situation that you forced the course of? You forced the course of the river. You made this situation happen. And in actuality, you're really powerless to determine how it's going to come out. You really have no power. But you lied to yourself because you're prideful and said everything's going to be okay. And you did that because you're desperate, because you really don't have faith in the Most High. Finish that?
an impotent and unsure keeper of those things of which is fancied.
It said, but I got it off what?
Fancy.
I fancied. What was your definition of fancy?
Correct.
Fanciful.
Yeah, fanciful. It says, guided or dictated by the imagination.
It says, I got it by my what?
Imagination.
I established this relationship by my imagination, and I got the ignoramus idea that it's going to work out and nothing's going to go wrong. I built everything in my life off my imagination. And I lied to myself and told myself that it's going to be okay. What you got?
It also says, subject to the influence of fancy. And it says, a fanciful man forms visionary projects.
Yeah, vision. I got formed a visionary project.
I got a vision, man.
I got a vision. I made this happen. It was out of bounds.
Yeah.
It was out of order. It was irregular.
Dreams.
I forced the course of the river. I really didn't have any faith. I was impatient. I really had low self-esteem. And I just indulged in my lust. And I told myself it's going to be okay. Finish that?
An impotent and unsure keeper of those things, of which is fancied itself a safe guardian.
But I lied to myself that it's going to. I'll be all right and I'll make it work. This is why David said this in Proverbs chapter 30 verse 8. Get Proverbs chapter 30 verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. Remove far from me Vanity and lies.
This is why David begged and prayed to the Most High to remove far from him what?
Vanity and lies.
He says, please, Lord, keep away from me vanity and lies. Vanity is, I'll be okay.
Yep.
This is going to work. The lies is, I had no choice. I had to do it.
I had to make this.
I had to make this decision. Because these are the two things that David said, Lord, keep me far from this mentality. Because this is the mentality that feed people when they indulge in situations without clarity, without discernment, without commandments, without instruction, without law, without obedience, without faith, without trust, without a sufficient knowledge of grace that the Most High is going to take care of them with. But they tell themselves vanity and lies. The vanity is, I'm going to make this work. The lie is, I had no choice. I had to do it. I couldn't wait. That was both vanity and that was a lie. Both of them. That's why David said, keep me from vanity and lies. Right? Hold that thought. Let's finish this right here, Philo.
What?
This next part right here. Yeah. So let's read this right here.
Collect therefore.
And so instead of being a collector of bodies, being a collector of mistakes or indulgent relationships, commit myself to whoredom, he says, now this is Philo talking. He said what?
Collect therefore, O my soul.
That's now Philo saying, because I understand how I can go about establishing something off the wrong pretense. He says, collect myself, O my soul, what?
Collect therefore, O my soul, what is sufficient and proper.
He says, so he's begging the Lord, only give me what you think is sufficient for me. Only give me what you think is proper for me. Only give me what you think is right for me. Let me not go chasing what I thought and I imaginated and I created and I conceived and told myself it was going to work. Don't let me go off the deep end off my own imagination. Give me what you feel is right for me. Let me collect that. Instead of being a collector of an imagination. Imaginary fairies. Read.
What is sufficient and proper, and in such a quantity as shall neither exceed.
He says, and give me a quantity, what's appropriate, that will neither exceed.
By being more than is sufficient.
So I don't want to be too rich. I don't want to have too much. I just have enough. Just give me what you think is sufficient. What else?
Nor fall short.
He said, but also don't keep me starving and keep me lean where I don't have enough. Read on.
By being less than what is requisite.
Requisite.
Requisite. That's so, using just measures.
He says, and that's so, using just measures. I have to look at everything using just measures. Not my flesh. Not my imagination. He says, therefore, using just measures, read on.
You may not be led into the commission of injustice.
It says, and if you use just measures, you will not be led into the commission of injustice. What he's saying is, if you learn first and foremost to be content. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. What he's asking for is a content mind. To be satisfied with what the Most High gives him. Remember, if I'm not satisfied in what the Most High gives me, I become a collector. How long I gotta wait? I gotta go get it.
1 Timothy 5 and 6. Okay, 6 and 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6 reads, but godliness with contentment is great gain.
It says, with God doing things the Most High's way and being content at what he gives you is great what?
Gain.
It's great gain. That's what Philo was praying for. That's what he was asking for when he said, just give me just measures. Don't give me too much and just don't give me not enough to have what's required so I can function. Just give me what's due to keep me going. But if I don't have a godly conscience, then I'll make bad decisions. Real bad decisions. We're almost done. Give me no, I want to get Follow say one more thing that I like. He said one more thing. Read this right here. One should practice. Let me finish following you.
This is going to support your point. I might hit that maybe point here a little harder, but it's just supporting a previous point.
Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 12. Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 12. It just says this. We had a hard point. It says, but they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For, say they, this is what the wicked say. This is speech of the wicked. We must be getting every way,
Yep.
though it be by evil means.
Yep.
So the constant internal conversation of a native person is expansion, even if it costs in the process of the vehicle of that expansion is negative. Expansion, all expansion is good. All collecting is good. All bread is good.
Yep. even if it's negative.
Even if it's negative.
So when you look at it, when you look at the root source of vice,
Yeah.
vice is just a breach of trust in the Most High. That's all my vice is. I do what I'm compelled to do, which is my vice, because I really don't trust the Lord. People say they smoke because it does what? Calms my nerves. God can't calm your nerves. He's the creator of nerves. It's just my anxiety. God is the creator, but he can't calm you down. Everybody create their own vice, but all vice is just a breach of trust in God.
Yeah.
I just don't trust the Father. So I have these external powers that I give myself, or ideas that I give myself to, that I think are remedies for my problem. But what did Follow say? He says what?
One should practice being contented with a little.
He said one should practice being what?
Contented with a little.
So he said what we should do first and foremost is learn to appreciate what the Most High gives us. And that's where you said, sis, about does it come from somebody not appreciating? Yes. And that's why I said yes. That notion does come from somebody not being appreciative, but it's also comes from somebody not having trust in the Father and have a hatred and negative mind and outlook towards themselves and everybody around them. He said one should practice being what?
One should practice being contented with a little.
Why?
For this is being near the Most High.
He says because if you can be content with little, and if you can be thankful and appreciative for what the Most High does give you, it'll keep you out of angriness, bitterness, envy, wrath, and mad and looking at what everybody else got that you don't have. Or it keeps you out of despair and looking at your current state and situation in a negative way. Read on.
But the contrary habit.
It said, but the contrary habit, which is people that aren't thankful, that aren't appreciative for what the Most High does give them. He said the contrary, because I practice looking at everything negative. Read on.
Is being far from Him.
But for those that look at everything negative, they're actually at a distance from the Father. What separates me? My negative mind. I got a negative outlook. What didn't the children of Israel do in the beginning? We started off in class talking about they didn't like the bread.
Yeah.
The Lord said, I didn't even give you bread. He gave them manna. He said, but we hate this light bread. We loathe this light bread. First of all, they couldn't even be thankful for what the Most High did give them, let alone expect to inherit the promised land. So a lot of what we do and how we engage with people and how we dictate our relationships is based upon how we see the Father and how we see ourselves. Whether we're content with what the Most High gives us and appreciative, or we got to go chase and create our own imagination and seek out our own happiness and get bit and stung on the back end. Matter of fact, give me that read that in Ecclesiastes chapter 14. We had it earlier. Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 8.
On Ecclesiastes 14.
We're just going to jump down because we're almost done. Read.
78.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye.
He said, envious man got what?
A wicked eye.
Read on.
He turneth away his face and despiseth men.
I hate who?
Men.
I hate men. I got a negative outlook. Read on.
Verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion.
And a covetous man's eye is never satisfied with what?
With his portion.
So what's the stem of adultery, infidelity?
Satisfied.
I'm not satisfied with what I got. I'm not thankful. I look at what I got as evil. So I'm going to go get what I want. I don't think the Most High, I got an evil outlook towards myself anyway. I don't think the Most High going to give me nothing better. So I'm going to go take what I want. I'm going to go make what I want happen. Still comes back to a negative mind. It all stems back to a negative outlook, negative thought process. No wonder they were complaining at Moses. No wonder they were complaining at Aaron. Well, no wonder they were complaining at the Most High. They couldn't understand what it was. They had a negative outlook. They couldn't be grateful. So they stayed in chase mode. They stayed in complaining mode. Read this in Hebrews chapter 3, verse 12.
Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief.
And when I have a negative mind, I have an evil heart of what?
Of unbelief.
I have an evil heart of unbelief. I complain. I don't appreciate. I start imagining my own conceptions. I start following after my own will. I start formulating things that in pursuits that I feel like are going to be the fix and the answer to my problems. I don't have patience. I don't think the Most High is going to give me something greater later. I don't believe in the graces of the Most High. All these things come from having a negative mind. And that was the lesson in the wilderness. They couldn't get out of their negative mind. Read on.
Fine. It says, take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living power.
Because my negative mind, my negative outlook, my lack of appreciation, my lack of good towards myself, my hate towards myself, my hate for the people around me, all it does is start separating me from who?
From the Most High.
From the Most High. I start living a promiscuous life because I don't care.
Yeah.
Read on.
God says, but exhort one another daily while it is called today.
That's why we got to keep reminding each other of the good that's around us. If not, we'll all fall victim to a negative outlook, to a negative mind. Last verse. Yeah, finish that.
Okay, come. Verse 13. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Yeah, because sin will make you harden your heart.
Right.
And when you harden your heart, you stop listening. You stop seeing the good around you. You stop seeing the good in yourself. You stop seeing the good of the Father. Yes, sis, that is correct. So wait on the Most High no matter what your position, even though you're seeking a husband. Kind. Yes, wait on the Lord. Don't create your own lane based upon your thirst or your urgency or your lack of patience, thinking that the Most High doesn't have something better set up for you later. Yes, wait on the Most High. Yes, sir. What you got?
This is misread.
Oh, who did? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does that mean like to
Encourage. Yes, exhort means to encourage. That's why he says encourage one another daily. That's why we got to keep encouraging each other to think positive. Anybody could fall victim to a negative outlook, but that's when you're on a downward spiral. But the negative outlook comes from lack of faith, lack of belief, lack of trust, lack of obedience to the Most High's commandments. I wanted Proverbs. We was in 30. We read verse 8.
Yeah.
Read verse 9.
Fine. Proverbs.
Read verse. We didn't finish 8. Finish verse 8.
Okay, come. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies.
Vanity is I can do what I want to do, make this move, and it's going to be okay. And that stems from pride. The lie is I had to do it. I had no choice. This was my opportunity. Read on.
Come. Give me neither poverty nor riches.
That's why David said, Lord, give me neither poverty nor riches. He said, I don't want neither one. Read.
Feed me with food. Convenient.
He says, feed me with food. That's what?
Convenient for me.
So that's what we should be asking the Most High. Give me what you think is convenient for me. So I don't have to go out chasing. I don't have to go out collecting. I don't have to go thrusting myself out to the wind just to anybody. I don't have to go out selling what's precious, the good that's in me, devaluing my flower, selling off my innocence. We should really be asking the Most High, just give me what you think is right. Show me what you think is right. Let me stay out of my own imagination. He said, feed me with food that's what?
Convenient for me.
Read on.
Lest I be full.
He said, otherwise, I become ungrateful. Read on. And unthankful. Read on.
And deny thee.
And I stop thinking about you. Read on.
And say, who is the Most High?
I forget all about the Most High. Who is the Most High? Read on.
Or lest I be poor.
Or I become poor. Read on.
And steal.
And I steal because I've grown what? Desperate.
God.
I steal because I'm desperate. And poor just means I don't have no faith. I don't believe. Read on.
And take the name of my power in vain.
Now I make the Most High through my desperacy, my desperate antics. I make the Most High look bad. Like he's unavailable. Like he's not an adequate power source. Like he's not a savior. Now I make the Most High look bad. Because I'm desperate. Any questions? All right, with that, we're going to say shalom. Good to see everybody. We'll see everybody on Friday. Y'all have a good night. We'll be back in action. Dawiyah's got Friday. And like I said, we got another week until Day of Atonement. I'm pretty sure we'll have a class leading up to the importance of it. All right? Shalom, Israel. Have a good night.
Exceptional.